So we are. We're going to play Container, which is the most Don game ever. Just freight logistics with some cartoons, and essentially a playmat that I would describe not as a playmat but a play bedsheet, because it's absolutely vast. This is a big table, and this playmat is most of it. So we are going to set it up, play it, and then let you know our thoughts after. In Container, you have to ship containers to your section of Container Island, ensuring that those that you ship there are worth the most money at the end of the game. Other players must buy your containers and you theirs. You can select 2 actions each turn, picking from building factories and storage, producing containers to your warehouse, purchasing from another player's warehouse, sailing your ship out from or into harbours, purchasing containers from other players' harbours, repricing your containers, and bidding on auctions. You can take up to 2 loans in the game, paying interest every round, and choosing to pay off the loan, although it's expensive. If you can't pay, you have to lose one of the containers on your island. I mean, that is solid. It's so solid. Once 2 colours of container have run out in the supply, Endgame triggers. You discard the containers on the island you have the most of, or choose the containers you have the most of to discard, then determine the value of the rest using your asynchronous scoring card. Right. So we played Container. Thank you very much, Don, for your ultra bling
Is this how
version of Container. Well, we have started the video.
I just thought you were going to do like a running thing of being like, what's that American TV show where the guy pokes over the fence?
Oh, yeah. Home Improvement.
Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Like, I am out.
This is just man in the board game mask now.
If we start like this, though,
Yeah.
I don't think anyone... I'm going to hazard a guess that people wouldn't be able to see me.
I mean, they can see Board of the Bar t-shirt.
You can see
Back of the head in your mirror.
You can see Board of the Bard. We keep getting this wrong. You're Board of the Don, the Board Bard, and you're Caveman. You need a Caveman Gaming.
I don't make it.
No, I know.
We could make
Or
one.
so
he goes topless, make him look like a caveman. It just says caveman written on him.
I'm not okay with that. Nor with the internet.
I don't think
Cut
we'd
it
be
into
able to hold him down and do that to him without
Cut it into a
significant
post
damage.
We're at the point of cutting half this video.
Right, let's go. Container. Don's Ultra Bling. What are these? I'm getting distracted. Sorry, what are these?
Expansion.
More containers. I love the fact that the expansion of
That's
this
a
game...
lorry.
We're starting at the end. I love the fact that the expansion of this game is just called More Containers. It's like, right, we need to expand a game called Container.
We need to start again!
There's going to be more of it. Let's call it More Container. That's great.
You need a clapperboard.
I got clack. It was marvellous. I think we all loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
You loved it. I'm pleased you loved it because this was your UKGE. That's the one I want.
Yeah.
Game. And it was tricky to figure out in the extreme, in a way, I think. It took me half of the game to actually figure out how to play the game.
There's some strategy under this that it takes a while to click.
Counterintuitive strategy. Who said it? One of you said, this is not like a board game we've played before. Yeah. Why did you say that?
Because you're producing, you're trying to influence a market. That's why I keep coming back to here. Is there's a market, there's a cost to everything. You've only got containers or money. That's all you've got.
Yeah.
We played games before with variable markets, with things that would utilities and commodities that will change value through the game, and we've always enjoyed that. Things like even to the point of Tiny Epic Pirates. We're very happy to see in such a small game a dynamic marketplace.
Yeah.
This is that taken to its logical extreme. But you've also got to think 5 steps ahead between producing your containers and getting to the auction stage. You've got to produce your container, to have someone then buy them to put them in their harbour, someone else to come in with a boat and pick them up and take them to the auction. Then you've got to auction them and maybe buy out the auction.
And you still might not get them.
After
all of that. That's what's crazy. And that, I think, is right at the start, the thing that would not compute in my brain is that when you produce containers, you're not going to see them. Because unlike other games where you produce things for you and you use those things for you, depending on the market, essentially you go, right, what's the market? What's best to produce? This was, when you produce, you can't use your own things that you produce. You have to rely on the fact that someone else will use them. But then they go from your warehouse into your harbour, and then that's not necessarily you getting them. Someone else might get there before and get the containers that you made that were bought by another player. And so trying to find your way from breaking your phone by dropping it out of your pocket, trying to find your way from producing containers to getting them to, because it's all about this. If they're not in your area, you ain't scoring them. And so the rest of it is preamble for getting them here. And the journey, as Richard said, the path to get them there is a huge puzzle.
But then we've got the kicker that I completely forgot, is that once you've got all your containers there and you get to scoring, you throw away the set of colours that you have the most of.
You lost.
I lost because I threw away 50 points because I got that.
You lost 50 points. Richard, I wasn't just going, you lost. No, I was saying you lost. You lost 50 points. You lost 50 points because of that majority scoring, which I hope you'd forgotten. So
had entirely. As with any game, before you start playing, double check the endgame scoring. In fine detail.
I mean, I understand now why some how-to-play videos start with endgame scoring.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, how do you understand how the game fits into how that works? That's why I tried to balance out to have... didn't get there in the end, but I tried to have 3 majorities. So I could pick the lowest to get rid of. Getting them here is the thing. Even now, if we played again, having done that, I'd still not fully know the journey from producing or buying into harbour and then getting them there. But what I would say is, every time I could, I went here. Even if it was 1, I went here. I'd take that. I mean, the action I took the most was container to island, because even if I lose the bid, I've got loads of money.
That's the thing. You could fill 5 containers in here. You get to the container island and auction those off. People have still only got the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And we were pushing it, bidding everything we had on 2 containers. You're then auctioning off 5 containers extremely cheap, potentially. So going with a half-filled boat, obviously in the real world, that's terrible economics. In this game, can absolutely be a boon.
I was just going with 1 because I knew the advantage was I'd either get paid, less, but I'd get paid for it, or I'd get it. So it was attritional gains in a way. But I think I only figured out the game halfway through it in terms of actually how to strategize a win. Thankfully, the risks I thought were terrible earlier in the game weren't too bad. Like when I got these 3 in my first container because I just threw every last bit of money I had at it, overbid everyone, and thought, oh dear, that was probably a terrible idea. I've now got to take a loan. I'm now way behind. Actually, good move in the end because it meant I could relax on having to build up the amount of containers.
Tricky. Yeah, a delightful step-by-step puzzle, just trying to figure it out. And it's one I genuinely think I keened in on quite quickly of how to get there, as evidenced by just how many containers I had and my own hubris in that knocked me down.
Your minus points altogether, 50, 60, 70, 80, minus 90 points.
Yeah.
That is absolutely nuts. So you did do incredibly well, but the penalties were just incredibly harsh.
Yeah. Takes me back to Rail.
It was still a few points less. I had no minus points, other than I suppose the 3 I got rid of, but and just inched ahead. Yeah. So you had minus 90
extremely
points.
Well played. I'm with Don on this. Mentioned last night that actually you want to try playing this with 5 players, the full 5.
Then it would just be
because of the level of competition that is going to introduce. We were all pricing to move
to the market.
You'd sell more, I think.
There'd be more people thinking differently about it, because we had a very much a mindset of we don't want to pay the other person the money.
You're just trying to avoid giving them money.
But if we'd had other people playing, even Chris to a point, or some of the partners, they have different approaches to this kind of game.
Yeah.
And in a 5-player game, it would feel extremely different. You'd have more competition for the auctions,
more cash flow. You
know,
know,
more cash
flow. We were really down this far of the board, weren't we? $2 containers, $1 production containers. It drove. We didn't want to give away too much money, but because of that, we had to then market ourselves lower.
That makes it, in a real world way, you have to spend the money to make the money in the end. So,
and real business-wise, it was great. The whole concept of this business we were running, sometimes really running against the wire, sometimes being really in debt. You had 2 loans at one point. You ended with two
loans,
and after not taking a loan until the last round, and so it's that concept of I'm going to make big business risks because I think I'm going to get that next contract or that next big win. And then when it comes through and someone just gave me $1 at one point, I thought, I'm back in the game. I had nothing at one point. And then I think you produced and gave me $1.
Yeah.
And I thought, I can actually do something now. But I mean, there was one moment that I think was one of the best moments of the game where you had realized that we'd gone big on something just previously. And so you sailed into this island, knowing that neither of us had the power.
Yeah,
I bet $1, you bet nothing, and you went, right. Well, that's three containers for $1,
and that is where you have to try and keep an eye on what everyone else is doing. The money bets are face down, but if you're paying attention, you can get a real vibe for what
and take
people
advantage.
are
Of when people are cash low. You were all about loans.
I was. And that was probably my downfall.
I still want to count up
every dollar.
I do wonder genuinely if we counted up how many times you paid your loan in a round, whether that money would have swung the game.
You lost a bloody container. You had to give away a container because you had no money left. And that's brutal. That was pretty brutal.
I couldn't pay my loan back.
I like to think we experienced the majority of what this game has to offer.
Definitely.
Last night. We played in 3 quite different ways, as we all tend to. And I think we saw the best and worst of this game, and we all came up overwhelmingly
I only
positive.
saw the best. It was just fantastic.
Yeah.
It was really fluid.
When I say we saw the worst of it, I mean it's not off-putting.
As in, the worst of it is when it kicks you when you're down, and when you don't have any money, and when you've geared up, you've produced, you've bought that's got to a harbour, you've gone to the harbour, or you've won an auction for containers, then you finally get them to Container Island, and someone took a loan. So all of that expectation of taking advantage of people being low money, nope, not anymore. Someone's taken a loan. I think I did it at one point where I knew I needed to buy you guys out, and so I thought, I could take a loan right now. It's not even my turn. So you can take a loan when it's not your turn, and then swing in with unexpected money. But then it hurts, that loan, $1 every round, and then having to get up to 10 to lose 10 just to get rid of it feels really painful.
Yeah.
It was like playing with toys. That's one thing that I kept thinking. It was like we were playing with toys. It was like, honestly, Ruben would just sit here all day, just putting containers in, taking them out, sailing his boat to other places. It felt like when we played with little toys, and the quality is amazing. The fact that the heaviness nearly broke the microphone. These are solid metal. The boats are solid metal. They're like Tonka toys. They're just so resilient and robust, but the quality of that weight feels really good. Because the containers are so important, the fact that they literally have weight.
It's the ultimate extension of we all love a metal coin.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
The heft, the tactile weight in your hand, it feels substantial, and you feel that there's more perceived value to the game.
Yeah.
When I first opened the box, I thought the money being this small in your hand, I thought that would be a down point to the game. But I didn't then notice it when I was playing.
No, but I like the fact that they were cards.
Yeah.
And not like a Monopoly money thing.
Yes.
Because one of the whole parts of the game is trying to obfuscate how much money you've got.
Correct.
And what denominations you've got as well. I mean, there were times where you put 2 cards down and I put 5 cards down because I thought I know, Richard, one of them's going to be a 5. he's gonna make it look like he's not betting as much. Annoyingly, that was the time that you put 2 zeros down, and I totally overbid. But at least you weren't able to then buy it out.
Yeah, it wasn't.
So that.
But imagine that with 4 players all bidding on that, rather than just 2 players, 4 people.
That levels up the complex strategy of it, and that the bluffing, I mean, you know my phrase, always playing poker, even when you're not playing poker. That concept of downplaying what you've got, overplaying something you don't need, so that people kind of focus on that and then forget the ones you do need. I never mentioned white because I wanted you to think
you are a master of that.
Sam's not bothered about white. So
only that time you did actually accidentally
literally show you on my card.
Me.
That's one of the worst board game moments. It's not my proudest moment. So essentially, your end of game scoring, you have that for the whole game, and it tells you different colours are worth different amounts. Everyone's got different ones. So mine, white was the most lucrative. So that's why I was trying to hide that I wanted white, because otherwise they would have made it too expensive, or they would have bought me out of it. At one point, I said to Don, you know what, Don, I'm going to give you $1. And I gave him my endgame scoring card so that he could just see exactly which ones he needed.
The information.
Yeah.
You can't really. You either play a silly game of, just ignore that.
I don't know.
Or you just use the information. You know, it didn't damage the game.
It was nearest the
end.
Didn't.
No,
you still won. And I still came last and loved every single action.
Mark of a good game.
And that is honestly why we get on so well playing the games, is because none of us are. I mean, we all want to win. Don't get me wrong. We all want to win.
Yeah.
But none of us are going to be salty at the end because we didn't. We're in it for the gameplay first and foremost. Winning is icing on the cake.
And when you did get to the end, I realized, I looked back over the game and thought, unlike The Witcher for you, downtime was great. There wasn't much of it.
Downtime.
There wasn't much of it. I mean, turns were quick, but you actually wanted to know.
You want to know what they were doing.
How are they going to do things? Because you need to know the money they've spent.
Yeah.
I needed to know Richard's just spent a lot of his money. I'm going to go to Container Island because he won't be able to bid very high. I've got a good bidding hand. Oh God, what's Don doing?
Yep.
Is he going to be able to do it as well? And trying to keep. Also, you've got to keep an eye on these prices, where they are, whether you need them, but not too keenly, because otherwise people know what you want.
And the last aspect as well is the infrastructure, what you produce and what you can store.
Yeah.
And we all did run into the barriers of not being able to store enough.
I didn't build. I barely built anything, so I didn't have much capacity, and that's why I hardly had any containers.
And that's why not a lot of people bought from you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were buying from each other quite a lot. Yeah. I must say, your strategies were very different. Richard was, everything is cheap.
Price to move.
Price them to move.
I want them out there so you can start bidding on them.
Because whereas you were, I'm going to put 2 greens here for 1 and a red. 2 greens here are more expensive. And this red is the most expensive. Who's going to buy that?
This is the mark of the roulette
This is 1, that's 3. But it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Because that shows that, what does Don actually need? I had no idea, by the way.
This is the
really
roulette
needed.
player in you.
Yep.
Spreading it across the board to try and...
I knew Richard needed blue. I had no idea what you needed.
I made no secret of it.
You had no indication that green was important to you or red was important to you. And that was really interesting trying to figure it out. There's so many different levels. There's the deception, well, not deception. There's the kind of bluffing and intrigue on that. There's the trying to hide which ones you need the most. And most importantly, how do you get them to that bloody island?
Yeah.
So scores-wise, I haven't thought about my scores. This is going to be on the fly. So Richard,
firmly in an 8.
8,
maybe even an 8.5 for me.
Oh, so you get it out a lot.
It's immediately because the setup is quick.
Yep.
It's a grab off the shelf. 20 minutes later, you're playing it.
Lay out the bed sheet.
Job done. And it's not the longest game in the world.
No.
So everyone in our groups are going to be happy playing this.
Yeah.
It's not going to lose anyone in the time scale. Yeah, it's well up there.
Okay.
It's an easy 9 for me.
9. Great stuff.
And the only reason it's the minimum 3, which is needed in the game. Yeah. 2-player wouldn't work. You'd be buying off each other all the time. The minimum 3 just means it just wouldn't get to the table enough.
Okay. So for me, I would say 7.5. Surprisingly, loved it. Really, don't be it.
That's still good.
Really?
That's still good on some
Really
scale.
liked it. Really enjoyed it. The only caveat, I think, if you were to say let's play Container again, is my brain would kind of because I still don't feel I really understand the path from scratch to the Container Island.
You don't understand your early game.
To be able to actually get from.
Yeah.
You've produced them, you won't see them. They're in the warehouse, you might not see them. The keeping an eye on whether someone's got an auction out. I forgot you got 3 containers for $1 at once because I just completely forgot it had happened. So the actual kind of, I don't feel my brain like unlike inventions where I completely understood, go from here to here, that's my path to points, that's my plan. I can knit all this together. I can do this jigsaw, incidentally, with a jigsaw in front of me. This was like jigsaw pieces all over the place. I'm going to have half a picture, maybe. I don't really know how to do that, and some of those pieces are upside down. So I think that's what would slightly stop me. It probably would go to an 8 if I thought about it more or played it a second time. I think on a second play, it would likely go to an 8. But right now, just for that barrier to me knowing how can I do this without it being messed up or interfered with, it would be a 7.5 for the stress of it. And that stress of work in a fun way, but still a bit of a stress of a push. And that's why I don't think Liz would go for it, because the economic challenge and puzzle of not knowing, she likes a path to victory. And although this is an endgame scorer, it's an endgame score that screws you over if certain things happen. And so that would be the tricky thing.
Whereas for me, when I went home last night, sold this to Charlotte, said you'll absolutely love it. She would get into
and
this.
And she would. She'd push that end game.
She's ruthless.
She's the end game push queen. And just like you tried to do.
I did.
You pushed the end game.
I got that end game to the point where anyone else was still going to end it if they produced.
And we were throwing everything at you not to end the game. And with your capacity. So great. Marvellous. Well, thank you very much, Don, for not only buying it, but introducing it to us. I've just noticed there's gold ones. Yeah. There's gold containers.
And for getting a playmat, of course.
Okay, well, you know what? It must be higher than 7.5, because now I want to play this again with the expansion. So there's something in me that is going, I'm really excited to try the expansion. So, in fact, quite soon. So maybe I should put it up to an 8, but I'll think about it. Great. All right. Thanks, chaps.
Thanks.
See you later.
Cheers. Fall to the door.
He's going to cut that. He's going to cut it as bored.